what it is, what it looked like.
What it do?
I don't even know why I said that. um, uh, Welcome to another episode of the Game Cast. I'm your host, or one of your hosts, Kenny, and with me is Tess.
Hello, everyone.
And today we're going to talk about your favorite subject,
The
Corona, or as they say it in the streets, the Coco, or
Coco, the Rona.
the Roro.
This is getting out of hand. That's why our title today really is comic relief.
Yes, comic relief. We're gonna have some fun. There are gonna be some serious moments because there are some serious things to talk about concerning the coronavirus, but we do want to have some fun as well. So, as normal, we'll talk about our week a little bit, and then we'll go into today's festivities, if you will. Uh, my week was cool. I saw a couple stuff on Netflix. For instance, The Platform. I saw that film on Netflix.
Oh,
Interesting film. I feel like it deals with kind of like a classism type thing in
yeah.
an interesting way. These guys are in like this prison where it's like 300 floors of inmates and two people per floor, and there's a giant hole in the middle, and there's this platform that's lowered from the ceiling to each floor, and it has food on it, like a lot of food, right? But you only get like I want to say like 5 minutes to eat, and then after that it lowers to the next floor. And so as you
Oh,
can imagine, everyone's sharing from this giant platform of food, and the people who are on the bottom, I mean, like 300 levels, that's you're not going to get any food. Uh, so it's and every month they switch. So you might be on the top floor where you can eat as much as you want, and then next month you'll be on level 200. And so uh, there's this interesting dynamic between the people that are above and the people that are below and how they treat one another as they shift between being up, below and up and below or whatever, above or below. And so it's interesting. I think that
yeah.
it's a bit weird and not as it's very blunt with his messaging and because of it, there's things that happen in the film that are I guess off-putting, but not in a it's off-putting in a way that you feel like you're not done, like it didn't resolve everything. Or at the very least, you're not happy with what the way it ends. It's like, oh, that's it. Oh, okay. And then, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
the message is there, and you get the message kind of before we get to the end. And it's a good message. It's similar in that sense to Parasite almost, but I
Uh-huh.
think Parasite just as a film is much better, uh, like much better in terms of acting and scripting and all that good stuff. However, it's definitely an interesting movie. So check that out unless I want to put a caveat there in the sense that corona being locked in a place, maybe not
Mhm.
want to watch something about people being locked in a place.
Yeah,
uh
not a good idea.
you know what I mean? But for me it didn't bother me, I guess, because well, not to spoil anything, but the way the film kind of plays out, there's things that are it's extremely unrealistic, if you will. And so
Mhm.
there's things that they pull from that informs the viewer of certain things that isn't necessarily reality, at least not in our reality. And so it is similar to watch when I watched The Kingdom, where it's like, that's an epidemic, but it's like with zombies and stuff. It didn't bother me because of how distant it is from actual reality. Like I wouldn't want to watch the pandemic show on Netflix where they actually do a documentary about, disease and stuff like that.
Yeah.
That's not something I want to watch. But this one you might be interested in. At the very least, tag it for when we're out of lockdown, if you will, and and then watch it then. Just to, something to talk about. Um, I didn't watch the Tiger King, but apparently that's big in terms of just being a shocking thing to watch. Uh,
Yeah.
it's like memes are all over the place with it.
Yeah.
I'm afraid to watch because
I said I wasn't going to, but my sister watched it. We can actually ask her how she feels.
yes, it's from what I've heard, it's bananas. So I'll I'll let her fill that part in.
Hmm.
I did start watching two shows I haven't finished. I started watching Beastars, and I started watching the last season of the Clone Wars on Disney Plus. The Clone Wars is actually pretty cool so far. I mean, it's more of the same. if you've watched the Clone Wars before then, it's more of the same, but I think it's well written and is interesting enough. I don't think that it is moving at a pace where I think people are going to be fulfilled just yet, in the sense that this is the last season. We need to cover a lot of ground, in a type of way. It
Mm,
seems like, business as usual, and
right.
that may or may not jive with some. Personally, I'm just happy to see the clones and Anakin and that the gang. I'm happy to see them again. Um, I started watching Beastars, and I think this show was bad. Um, and at first I was hesitant because it's reviewing pretty well and people have a lot of good things to say about it. But I think people are like that because it's weird and not because of what it's trying to do. It's based on a manga that deals with abuse. It deals with power struggles.
Mm,
Um, for those who don't know, it's kind of like Zootopia, but like an adult version. And there's these power struggles between the excuse me, the herbivores and the carnivores.
ah,
And the carnivore, one of them is I guess like physically attracted to so as a wolf, he's physically attracted to a bunny, and he
hmm.
he isn't sure if he's attracted to her because he really wants to eat her. Um, no, yeah, yeah. Anyways, uh,
Okay.
he's not sure if he wants to if he's the desire is to kill and eat versus to be with, and he's struggling through that. Meanwhile, there's this big mystery going on where one of the students in there, because they're all in school or college, I believe college,
Hmm.
one of them is killed and eaten, and so they're trying to figure out who did it while going about their everyday lives and whatnot. And so it starts out really well, and but then it starts to go into a weird place, and I don't want to say too much, just in case it's something that you might want to look at. It's an anime, by the way. Um, it goes into this weird place where one of the characters is has been abused and is using sex to kind of work her way through the abuse, if you will. And in the manga, it's spoken upon a little bit more. I think in the anime they don't do it justice because it just seems like she's very promiscuous and um, it doesn't flesh out the things that happened in her past. And it might be something that will come later, like maybe season two or maybe even at the end. I think I'm like 5 or 6 episodes in.
Right.
Uh, and so there's things that I think that they kind of do a disservice to the characters because they're going for this. It feels like they're stretching the story to the point where any of the interesting threads aren't being addressed and there's more stuff in the middle, and that stuff in the middle isn't as interesting as the other stuff, and so that's
Yeah.
making for a dull show. But there's a lot of strong themes in terms of man, woman, and in this case, the different animals that I think will be really interesting if they just stuck to that. So I'm gonna finish it. So far, I'm not liking it, but I think
Mhm.
that what they are presenting is interesting. So it's called Beastars, and that is also on Netflix.
I noticed it was on Netflix. I saw it. I remember last week when you had said that you were watching it. You were like, "Yeah, no."
Yeah,
Um, yeah. Mm. Don't you hate that though? Sometimes like you find something and you're like, "Oh, this looks interesting," and then you watch it, and then you know how you kind of keep watching it. It in either hope that it gets better or you can tolerate what you don't like, and
yeah.
then you get to the end and you're like, "I want my time back."
But you know what happens? At least for me, it's like if you get too invested, like if I stopped at the first episode, I'm
Hmm.
good. But once you get too invested, it's like, okay, I
Yeah,
gotta see it through
yeah.
because if not, I'm gonna wonder, and I don't want to wonder.
Hmm. I hear you. I got you on that. So this week I can't say that I've really watched much of anything new. It's funny, I've had Cowboy Bebop going on in the background, just because it's one of those shows that you can put on in the background. And it's actually going on right now. It's when, Spike and Maria are like trying to run away from the syndicate together. Anyway. But I feel like no time has passed since last week. I feel like we were just here yesterday, and it's just been a real whirlwind for me. I just don't feel like anything. I shouldn't say anything monumental has happened, but I just feel like time warped. I have no idea. And I know I've said this before, so I know people think I'm either crazy or drugged or, spend a week in a drunken stupor. This is not accurate. Am I crazy? Yes. Drugged? Maybe, but definitely not in a drunken stupor. I don't like that. I don't. I've literally had the same wine bottle on my wine rack since 2014. Still there. Moving
That's
on.
good. I mean,
No,
it
I'm gonna
it
lose
gets
it.
better with age, so
It's better with age. Um, but I just the only thing that really has happened, honestly, is being on lockdown. Like, but that's not different from me. And I may have mentioned it before, but I'll reiterate. I stay at home. That's what I do for a living. I stay at home. I don't venture out. So this lockdown is not much different for me than yesterday, than last month, than the month before. I don't leave my house that often anyway, so this is normal for me. But what's not normal for me is everybody else being home. I've got the noisiest neighbors who live up above me, and I want to like bang their door in all the time because they got like an electric drum set. Ridiculous. And I am not in. I mean, like, you know what? Sometimes I just want to go up there and be like, hey, do you want me to be in your band? I've got mics downstairs. Like, let's do this. But otherwise, I don't know if he's really a great drummer or not. And sometimes I wonder if it's a child, but apparently it's a grown adult. I found that out. Moving on. So that's something that I'm dealing with being inside. My sister's home a lot, and so it's just us and the dog. And I have now noticed that people are so tired of being inside that they have turned like the grass outside into a gym. The thing is, all the apartment buildings I know of are closing their gyms because they don't want people going to the gym and spreading bodily fluids like sweat and stuff. But it was one thing yesterday just to see this guy doing like calisthenics outside, and his dog was running around in circles. There's this really, really nice grassy area in the apartment building next to me. It's a great, great outdoor patio. Like, it's a beautiful area. And that was one thing to see him doing that. But today I realized that they dragged one of those big, like, kickboxing things out there. And I don't know if multiple people are using it. I saw somebody using it today. And then later on today, I saw that same dog outside. That was the other guy's dog. So I don't know if he was using it. And I'm like, you can't just bring the gym from inside to outside and use it outside as if it's all of a sudden safe.
that just defeats the purpose.
Total defeats the purpose. Like, maybe they think, oh, maybe only one person can use it at a time. I'm like, there is an addiction here. It's one thing to be a gym rat, but like, if you can't find ways to make the make your gym at home, that you have to actually go and take gym equipment and move it outside to the common area space so that like multiple people can use it. I just don't understand. I
Yeah, that's a fail.
people's minds are just going insane. So anyway, otherwise, that's nothing really new on my end except that it's Virginia. We got a lockdown order on Monday night, and Tuesday we went to the grocery store and got some stuff, and then yeah, I've been home ever since. So typically, I don't know what day it is until we do the podcast. So
Well, to be fair, a lot of people are mixing up their days because
mhm,
their regular routine is thrown off. And so, outside of the fact that, we do homeschooling and things like that, it kind of keeps you in order. But
yeah,
a lot of people are like, there's memes going around of like it's, where they're mashing the days together because they don't know what to call today because
yeah,
everything's a blur. And so you're not, by yourself on that.
right, yeah. I would hope not. Like, wait a minute. But yeah, so we just figured that, you know what? We would talk to people and figure out if they were going through, similar things that we're going through, or just call around. We're gonna call around. we're going to get on the phone, we're going to call some people and figure out how they are faring. We want to know how people are doing and what's their go-to. And we want to
Yes.
know how people's emotions are. Like, how are you feeling during this time? It's one thing to be social distancing, it's another thing for your governor to say, don't go outside. So we're just going
Yeah.
to take some time to, you know, find out what people are feeling.
Yes. So we are going to dial up a few people and yeah, chat with them for a bit. And like I said, it's we want to know how people are doing and how they're feeling and stuff. We also want to take it a little bit light starting out,
Yeah.
because we I know everyone's been hearing about the coronavirus like nonstop since right before 2020. That being said, it would be kind of cool to kind of vent a little bit. I know
Yeah.
some people would like to do that, so maybe you can vent uh, vicariously through us.
Mhm.
And eventually, we will get to the more serious stuff, but we want to start light. We definitely want to start light.
Yeah. So let's see. Let's
Who
see.
do
The
we got first?
first person is Cousin Jonas. So let me see if I can get him on here. Do, 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 do.
Awesome.
Let's find him and let's give him a ring. This should be fun. He is a regular, what do you call it? Good Samaritan.
That's
That
awesome.
yeah, he is. I mean, we're all family here, and I'm like, I've got an amazing cousin right here. Hello.
Hello.
Hello,
Hey.
Jonas. It is nice to have you.
How's it
Uh,
going?
good, good. How are you doing?
Doing all right.
All righty. All right. I'm just here making some salmon and lentils, trying to eat healthy while on this quarantine.
Get healthy while you are quarantined.
Yeah.
That is dope because I'm totally not doing that. I would like to. I would totally like to, but nope, it's not happening.
At all. It's my excuse to eat all that tasty stuff that I rarely have time for, or I don't want to buy from a restaurant because it's so expensive. So
Mm,
time, time is now a commodity that's more available.
yeah, definitely, definitely. So, Jonas, go ahead and introduce yourself to our
Okay.
viewers, our listeners.
Sure. In what regards should I introduce myself? I mean,
What do you do? And you're at home now,
mhm.
and how do you typically spend your time now?
Okay. So I'm Jonas. I am also known as Teresa's cousin. Yeah. But what do I do? I do a lot. So work-wise, I do cybersecurity,
Hmm.
which involves everything from incident response to digital forensics to helping out, people who have been hacked or harassed or stalked, to helping out law enforcement to sitting down and looking at boring logs all day and hitting a checkbox. So I do everything.
Mm.
Um, yeah, and I also teach on the side. So I teach in a graduate computer engineering program, similar stuff to what I do. What else do I do?
Hmm.
I have a little bit of a musical background. Like I think I played trombone for 13 years, played jazz for 9 years, and all that stuff. Also part of my church, serve well at my church, lead ministries, outreach, prayer ministry. I love blessing people, helping people, seeing people's lives encouraged, turned around, joy, doing lots of things, missing trips, all that fun stuff. Yeah. And then when I'm not doing that, I'm usually going decently fast or mediumly slow on my motorcycle or vehicle or on the, yeah, on my dirt. Yeah. Um, I think that's a decent summary.
I think that's a great summary.
That
Yes,
works.
that works.
Yeah.
Jonas and I both ride motorcycles. I no longer ride. I may have mentioned this on a cast before. My bike got totaled, not on my own fault, and it got caught in a flood. That has nothing to do with me. But yeah, so Jonas is my ride buddy. But interestingly enough, the other day you texted me and you're like, "Hey, you've been doing some really good Samaritan things as of late."
Yes. So, okay. So with this whole COVID thing, it's a lot of people are suffering. I mean, nurses, working hard, people are losing jobs. It's really bad. And so I just felt blessed, so blessed to be in this position where I was usually so busy. This gave me the time to actually enjoy life a bit
Yeah.
and, continue working. So I went and found some, alternative sources of very strong alcohol, 95%, and
Mhm.
got some other ingredients, and I began making hand sanitizer to pass out to people who basically just didn't have any or a need. And it turned out it was either like elderly, like older retired people, or like single mothers or new moms who are new, and don't need to be traveling about the place and stuff like that.
Mhm.
So that became a fun little thing to do on the side. Yeah.
That's nice. See,
That's what's
there are
up.
good people out there.
There definitely is. Yeah. Yep. So yeah, that's one way to do it. Um,
All right. So, in having fun and having you on here, we're just gonna sit here and find out what else you've been spending your time with. So, rapid fire round, rapid fire questions. You ready to go?
all right, sure.
Eight. What are the last five things you streamed? Go.
Last five things I streamed would be Arrested Development,
Nice.
Parks and Recreation,
Hello.
um, uh, some random movies I haven't seen. Some new movie on Netflix about a prison where food drops from the top level to the bottom.
Ah!
Okay.
We just talked about that.
Really? Yeah. I just like it was interesting. I didn't. The ending was a little weird. I won't spoil the ending if you haven't seen it,
See,
but
what did I say? What did I just say?
Yep.
It was weird.
it was weird. Yeah, they could have done a lot. They could have done a lot more with it, but it was cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um. The other. What have I? I mean, I think. Yeah, I think that's mostly it. Yeah, I haven't done a whole lot of other streaming. If I have, it's probably stuff in that most of like the top 10 list on Netflix now. I've like seen most of them are. Oh no, I did start watching the Tiger Guy movie. I did, or TV show. Yeah, I started watching it. Notice I said started. Started
Tiger King.
Tiger Guy, the Tiger Guy. So yeah, that's basically. I guess hopefully that answers the question.
It does. It answers. Oh God. Okay. Top five people you'd want to be your Corona Bay. Lockdown
Top
Bay.
five. Um, this is gonna sound like weird, and I gotta explain this because I've never been someone that's been like, oh, this person or this movie star or blah blah blah. I just think they're just normal people who are just in a different position. So that being said, I would probably say like, let's see. Honestly, I think it might be cool, like to be with okay, my friends from jazz ensemble from college.
Uh-huh.
Just fun time all the time. Um, what am I don't know, dirt bike riding buddies. Maybe we'll just hit the streets or find something to do.
Yep.
Honestly, I would like to be caught up with some of my cousins from Ghana that I am very fond of, but don't get to see often.
Yeah, that makes
I
sense.
think that would be cool. Someone I'm trying to like name someone like that's like popular or attractive, but I just think all those people are just like normal people, I guess. Maybe somebody I could learn something cool from, like Steven Spielberg or Bill Gates
Smart.
or Prince if he was alive, but he would probably be um he'd probably be too out there for me, and then I would like go running or something.
Yeah, I could see the escape happening.
I know, and he'd be like, "You're too slow, Jonas." Yeah.
Basically, just think of Dave Chappelle, like the Chappelle Show with Prince, and that's
Right.
that's what it would be.
Yeah,
Right.
he would make you pancakes.
Uh,
Something like that. Yeah, or like one of my fitness idols, Ronnie Coleman. I think that would be cool. We just
Hmm.
work out all day and be big and swole.
Yeah,
Um,
good idea.
yeah, and who else? I don't know.
That's
Yeah,
5.
yeah. I guess that's about five. It's a little weird.
Favorite thing to wear for 3 days straight?
Favorite thing to wear for 3 days straight. I have this beanie cap that I wear all the time now. I think you. I don't know. I might have had it on the other day when I rolled out with the car, Teresa. So
You did not.
yeah,
Did not.
I did not. Oh, it must have been a nice day.
And you need to
Okay, yeah.
explain that too. Explain to everyone what you were doing the other day.
It was my birthday, and I wanted to have do something fun, but this coronavirus thing canceled like everything.
Yeah.
And so I was like, how can I still enjoy my birthday, even though like I can't hang out with anyone? And I'm okay, the whole Zoom meeting thing, yeah, that's something, but still a little boring. So I found out that there is a um luxury sports car rental place that was still operating, and I went there to rent a Porsche. They said they didn't have the Porsche, but they have this new nice Jaguar that's more powerful and really nice. So I said, sure. When I
Mhm.
got there, it was sitting next to the Porsche that I wanted. But when I saw that car, I was like, oh no, this is way better. It's got like 250 more horsepower. It goes 200 miles an hour. Super cool. So I basically cruised around the whole weekend. Birthday was Friday. Got the car Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and I went to all the waterfronts, went everywhere.
Yep.
Just cruising around, looking like a baller, pulling into gas
Mhm.
station, people looking like, who's that guy?
Yep.
It's just so loud. And the car was loud. I mean, driving through a neighborhood, I like hit the gas and kids on the sidewalk literally screamed in terror because it was so loud. Like I wanted somebody to tell the dad to tell the kids that monsters really don't exist. That's not what you heard. But
That's dope.
yeah, so I had fun. Yeah, I got to do, like 170 on some back roads in Maryland and on the highway as well. That seemed to
He,
be the number I would stop at.
no, he
So
didn't break the law, everybody. He was not breaking the law. You didn't hear that.
yeah, no, when I said 170, I mean like I went 170 miles
Yes.
distance. Yes. Like I drove the distance of 170.
Yes.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yes.
Because, I got 200 miles a day and I wanted to stay below that. So I only drove 170 miles.
Yes.
Yes. But I might have done all that within an hour.
That's dope.
That's not possible. That's not possible. That, that was a joke. Purely a joke.
Dope though. No. Yeah. Awesome. Awesome.
Oh, in case you want to know what car it was a convertible Jaguar F-Type SVR, which has about almost 600 horsepower. So nice and fun.
It was great. It was beautiful. The neighbors were looking like, I don't know if you saw them, but I did. They were like stretching their necks, and I'm like, take a
Really?
picture, girl.
I know, right? It'll last longer.
Oh, but nice, nice. And
Yeah.
so basically, I feel like your takeaway is that you've gotten you've been so busy typically, but you've got some much needed or time that you've been able to really utilize on doing other things, and one of those has been helping people.
Yes. Again, yeah, I love, bringing joy to people, encouraging them, lifting them out of whatever situation they're in. So, I'm just able to do that, for myself and for others, in any way that I could, that I see fit,
Yeah.
able, yeah. And I believe everyone can do, something for somebody, whether it's as
Mhm.
simple as giving someone in a line, a cashier, a smile, or how are you today, to, just picking somebody up, taking them out, or just bringing them something that they need, it does make a difference.
Right.
That's
Stop.
what's up.
Yeah. Very nice. Very, very nice. All
Yeah,
right. Well, thank you for joining us. It's been a pleasure to have you on, cuz.
no problem at all. Yeah, thank you for having me on. I enjoyed sharing a little bit.
Yeah. And I think it's important. I think it's nice to be able to find out how people are feeling and just, get their voices out there. So, thank you for being with us, and we will talk later.
Alrighty. All right.
All right. Have a good
Take care. You
night.
too. Bye bye.
See ya.
All right. So we are going to give a chat to our next caller.
Yes,
We're
yes,
gonna,
yes.
yeah, we're gonna go for the youngins. So let's go and get the perspective of a child, a fresh 21-year-old, right? But
Mm,
before we even get there, I just thought it was so nice when Jonas had told me the other day that he was, making hand sanitizer and handing it out, and that's awesome. We've seen stuff with people like getting it together on TV, on the news, and people who are doing nice things for others, and that's a really nice gesture.
I mean, and it's a stark contrast from the people that were hoarding stuff not too long ago and,
Yep,
trying to sell it for a whole lot
yep,
of selling, hand sanitizer or whatever for a whole lot of money to be able to like, I'm just gonna make some and give it away. Not even like I made some and I sold it, but I made some and I gave it away.
yep,
Like that's pretty freaking awesome.
yeah.
Um, and I didn't even want to like I didn't want to even I was gonna chime in, but I was like I just want to hear him talk about some of the stuff that he did because it was interesting. I never thought about test driving a car for my birthday. Like that might be something I might have to look into.
All right.
Yeah,
Next year, that's what we're gonna do because uh, Jonas. I mean, we're all family, but Jonas is that speed demon. Like
yeah.
this is the guy that I went and bought my motorcycle with, and we rode around Maryland for hours. So, you know, I mean, here I am, got my first bike, and we're hitting the highs on the highway, like flying down, and his motorcycle is basically a Ferrari on two wheels, okay? So yeah. So that's the type of stuff that he does. So yeah, next birthday, Kenny, I got you. Jonas got you. Yeah.
That's what's up.
We're going for the Maserati.
Oh my gosh.
You're like, I ain't ready, I ain't ready. No.
I don't know. I don't know.
All right. Let's get the fresh 21-year-old. Let's give her a
Word.
call. Miss Ayanna. Ayanna is actually one of the names that X20 mentioned because she sings. And yeah, her and Jarrell actually work together.
Okay.
Yeah. So let me get her. Hmm.
So while you're doing that,
Yeah.
um, yeah, it's interesting with you like talking to people and looking or hearing about the things that they're getting into streaming wise and how we end up running into the same things. Like I swear the Tiger dude is I'm gonna have to watch it. I'm gonna have to watch it because it's everywhere. I can't get away from him.
Yeah, it totally is. And you know what's really funny about him, the Tiger guy, is that like I heard about him years ago when he was trying to run for president or whatever, one of them, because I think either Colbert or not Colbert, I think it was Trevor Noah had him. Oh no, 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 Bill Maher. Bill Maher always had like crazy people who were running for president,
Yeah.
and he was one of them. So I just when I found out that he had a documentary, I was like, oh come on, oh sweet baby Jesus. Like save us all.
Speaking of which, I saw I think it was last year in France. I think it was France. They had you know how we have like the Macy's parade, like during Thanksgiving or whatever. I believe Trump was going to visit the country, and they had a giant like balloon of him, but in a diaper.
Yes, I saw that.
Awesome.
Yep, I definitely saw that. That was hilarious. And then when I went to that thing I think like last year, I went with Lillian, my sister and my sister Golda, and yeah, that was hilarious because they were selling the balloons.
Oh, word? That's
Yeah,
what's up.
it was, it was hilarious. And so we took pictures next to it. Having a little issue getting Ayanna on the call. Let me,
Okay.
yeah. Not really sure what's going on here.
Yeah, I when I saw the I captured the video or the image of him, and I made it funny, and I was like, it's Big Baby Trump. His mixtape, Baby Hands, will be dropping next month. And then a friend of mine was like, with the hit single, Diaper Full of Pudding.
Oh God. Oh wow. Oh God, that's gross. That's literally gross. That's literally
Oh man.
gross. Um, so I'm having a little issue getting her on, but if we want, we can maybe go to the next caller. Hmm.
Okay, cool. We can double back to
Yeah.
her. Let me get so the person I'm gonna bring up, I'm gonna let him obviously introduce
Right.
himself, but uh I will say that he is has worked with UFG or continues to do so. He does
Mm-hmm.
the Saturday night stream with us and the Let's Play, or UFG plays, and so you've probably heard his voice before. Let me grab him real quick, and I believe
Oh, I've got her.
up, up. Well, okay. Let me pump the brakes.
I don't know why it took so long. I do apologize for that. I found her. Let me. All right, let's do that. And get a little young perspective. I kind of want to like a little image, into people's actual houses and see what's really going on over there. You're like, hmm, hello? A little peek into your home and be like, how are you actually living? You tell us, because we're scared for you. Um, okay, nope. Hmm.
All right, she's still not able to.
Yeah,
See, that's technology for you right there.
I know. Unfortunate.
No
Well,
worries.
no worries. We'll just move on.
All right, let me grab him.
Hmm.
Do, 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 do. I know I should have left it up. I was like, oh, let me take this down. There we go. And add. And it's ringing. You can't hear the ringing, but it's ringing.
I wish we could.
Hello.
Yo,
Yo, what's up?
how's it going?
Pretty good, pretty good.
So, please introduce yourself to the fans out there. Most of us, or most of them, should know you from the Saturday night stream and UFG plays, and for your reviews and such on United Front Gaming. However, if they haven't heard or seen or read all that stuff, uh, this will be new. So, yeah, please introduce yourself.
My name is Jamie, aka UFG Blaze. Yeah, played a lot of games and stuff.
And what do you do, fam?
for
Like for a
for
living?
work. Oh,
Yeah.
I am a salesman, store in the city.
What type of store?
It's an electronics store, so computers, cameras, um, things like that. Occasionally, like security systems. Yeah.
Okay, someone else in security. There you go. There you go. So, we wanted to talk to you about a couple of things. Being that, this whole Corona situation, um, people are, obviously on lockdown. They can't do certain things. And so we're trying to talk to people about what's going on with them, how are they coping. We also have some lightning questions to kind of throw at you. And then also we have some serious questions that we're going to get into later.
Definitely.
Um, so the first things are kind of the more funny things or the more lighthearted things. For instance, what are the last 5 things that you streamed while on this lockdown?
Resident Evil 2.
No, no, not
Uh,
not game stream. I mean like
oh,
yeah, like content, like
Maybe that counts.
Netflix. Yeah,
oh, that's a much different answer.
definitely.
Almost nothing. My Hero. That was all.
Oh, just My Hero Academia. That's it?
That was all. Everything else has been gaming.
All right. Now, to be
Hey,
fair, we have been doing a lot of reviewing and streaming and such, so I
yeah.
kind of expected that answer. But I thought you were doing. I know you were talking about My Hero, 'cause that's an anime that we both enjoy. But I could have sworn you had seen some other stuff. Like, you did not see? Were you the one that said you saw the Tiger King show?
I definitely did not see that. I heard about it because I saw the memes pop up out of nowhere.
Yup.
I haven't started seeing it. I have no idea what it's about.
Yeah, apparently it's mad crazy, fam. Like I don't. It won't go away. Like we were just like we had
No.
another guest. Our family member Jonas was on, and he was talking about how he's just started watching it. Um, but that's kind of like it's kind of like the you remember when Bird Box came out?
Bird
How
Box.
how
Yeah,
crazy that was. Like everybody was like talking about it. So like I had to go watch it then. And that's what I feel like I have to do here. Like I have to go watch it because everyone's talking about it. But then I don't because of some of the stuff I hear. Like what is going on in this show? Um it from the synopsis I got was like he was like conning straight men into being gay and fighting over a tiger, and then someone fed their husband to a tiger. I don't even know. I don't know.
what?
Bananas. Exactly. That's all I
That,
heard was what.
that's not how it works.
That's not, nothing works. That's not how anything works.
And, like I don't see how you could be like, damn, you tricked me into being gay. What?
Yeah,
It's very
that's not
special.
it's interesting.
They've got a
Um oh go ahead.
they've got a cult.
Oh, okay.
Like
No,
anyway,
no.
we're
Don't
not going
it's okay. Like don't act like that's normal. Like,
no,
like all
it's
right.
not. It's not normal. It is not okay. But we need a whole show for that. To unpack. We need a therapist on site. It is a lot going down over there. It's so left. It's so left. Like it's like three lefts make a right, or is it four lefts? Whatever. It's so left.
It's yeah, it's bananas. What's one thing that you've worn multiple times? Like back to back
That I've
without like
won,
that you've worn? Like what
worn
article of clothing that you've worn for like 3 days straight?
these lounge pants I got. They know they're my favorite ones. I've been home. I work from home, so I just get up out of bed, stay in my favorite lounge pants, take my seat, and start working. I no reason to take them off.
Exactly. No reason to take them off, which is my next question. And be honest, because there's no judgment here. When's the last day you showered? Because it's just it's a thing.
Yesterday, yesterday. That
What
was
about
yesterday.
before that?
Better than me, sir. No, just kidding.
Uh, I've been skipping a day in between, but I've also been working out. I have an elliptical in
Oh,
my apartment, so
got
I
it.
can't be that sweaty and then not that's no,
Got
it's
it.
not gonna
Got it.
happen.
I feel you. I feel you. The skip a day has happened. Um, because yeah, it's like you're not. I can't go anywhere. So whatever. Um, but yeah, you definitely want to shower. You want to. One of the things and before we get to our next question, you definitely want to do those things because it's easy to kind of fall into this like well, the people who kind of work from home before this stuff happens, it's easy to fall into I'm not going anywhere, so I don't have to comb my hair, I don't have to brush my teeth, I don't have to whatever. And it's actually good to do those things anyways outside of hygiene because that's also a good reason, but because it makes you feel better about what you're doing. And so you dress up or you get dressed or shower or whatever like you're going to work, even though you're going to your computer at your desk, and you actually feel good.
Yeah.
Mind you, it's also awesome to just wear sweats and or shorts and not have to wear a tie or anything. That's also awesome.
And
Uh,
I'm gonna tell you now, I am going to have a very very hard time putting on pants when I go back to work.
it's reasonable. I'm pretty sure a lot of people are gonna feel that way. Um, all right, so we got the streaming question. We got what you've worn. Let's see. What was another one?
The last one, most important, top 5 people to be your lockdown Corona Bay.
Mmm.
You said lockdown crew on what?
Your Corona Bay.
Oh, Corona Bay. Okay. Um, are we talking about just anybody or like?
Yeah, like
Anybody.
celebrities, certain friends. Like, who do you want? Like, if you had to pick 5 people to be in a lockdown with, maybe not at the same time, who would they be?
I was not prepared.
Nobody's supposed to be prepared. It's rapid fire.
Uh, um,
I know one person you
honestly,
would pick.
okay, so we'll see about that. I'll probably have to. Honestly, I don't think I would pick any family. I don't know. That's messed up.
Oh, wow.
It'd be a lot more friends than anything. So I'll
What
probably have
about
to scoop up you and Brandon, but I think
okay?
we'll be all right. Um,
What about whatchamacallit, who plays in Spider-Man, Homecoming? Would-
I'll take okay, so I'll take both of them. I could take Tom Holland and Zendaya. Those are the greatest people.
Yo, I'm with you.
Yeah.
Yes.
So who else? Who else could I? I'm gonna have to say probably my current idol, LeBron James.
Hey, that's what's up.
That would be
Uh,
interesting.
what have LeBron James, JB stuck with LeBron James?
Yeah.
I mean, probably be working out. At least I would be in shape.
That's true.
True. That's true. Nah, I just knew you were gonna say well, certain female cast members. I know we'd spoken about before. I was like, okay, he's playing it safe. It's okay. It's okay.
I mean, I didn't want to just throw it out there, but I mean, everything she does is great. Did you see The Greatest Showman?
No, I haven't. Wait.
Oh
Oh,
my,
you're
oh
missing
my
out.
God.
And she's in
Well,
that show, Euphoria, right?
Yes.
I love that show. I actually saw that show way too many times. I had to weed myself out of that show. I must have. I actually saw the series about the whole season over 15 times already.
Okay. Wow. That's serious.
Okay, so she should not come.
It's a
Yeah.
good show.
Yeah. She would be clawing at the door, like, let me out now. This was not. I didn't sign up for this.
Oh man. So beyond that, I kind of wanted to ask you, like, how are you doing in terms of being at home? Because you're living in New York,
Mhm.
Yeah.
and they recently passed the lockdown law, or I'm not sure what it's called, but where there's a possibility that if you're out and about and you're not going to work or going to get groceries, that you could be arrested, because they want to crack down, because New York is kind of the hotbed right now, and so um,
Yeah, I believe it's the capital in terms of cases.
Yeah.
yeah, it's nuts. And so, like, knowing that, like, how are you, in terms of like going out and getting food you might need, or just the idea of that new law? Because for me, when I heard it, the first thing I thought was like, this is the new stop and frisk. Granted, they probably won't touch you because they're afraid you might have something, but you know, it's
What?
it's, it's kind of like another reason, or another, because there's going to be someone. Let me not say that. I can assume, or I can imagine where people are a little extra with how they enforce this rule. So I wanted to hear your thoughts, being that you actually live in New York.
You know, unfortunately, yeah, it probably will turn into an excuse for somebody to do something stupid. Although in from what I've been seeing, I deal with a lot of people every day. I mean, I take like 50 to 100 phone calls a day just talking to people and everybody's mentioning it. For the most part, I think it'll actually be less likely to happen, except for like a few certain people. Yeah, I've seen a lot of people actually, at least in New York, coming together more in terms of how they act.
Oh, nice.
Pretty much not being a jerk.
Yeah,
Yeah.
this will be you don't have to be a dick nowadays.
Yeah.
So
Hashtag just don't be a dick. We are getting those t-shirts made eventually.
yes, definitely. Um,
I'll buy
but
one.
that's that's what's up. So that's good news then. Like, so New York is from your perspective, uh, is helping one another.
Yeah, it kind of felt similar to 9/11 when that happened.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And actually, almost very similar because although we were very patriotic during that time, especially in New York, it also wasn't good to be a Muslim at that time.
Mm,
And that's the same thing happening here, which I'm pretty sure you've seen all the videos. Is the same thing being Asian in New York right now.
yeah.
Yeah, unfortunately, and that's so. I guess like breaking the fourth wall a little bit. I had a friend of mine, excuse me, who's also a journalist. I wanted him to come on because there's been some craziness. He's actually in New York too, and he's a teacher as well as a journalist, and he's been noticing as an Asian American how the level of crime or the level of attacks and things of that nature has spiked since this Corona thing, and how whenever he brings it up it's similar to how we're treated when we bring up stuff dealing with the police, where
Yeah.
you're kind of you're igniting people or you're dividing people or and he's like, no, I'm just showing you my reality right now. And I think I wanted to get him on, but I think there was some things that came up at the last minute and we couldn't get him on, but eventually we will have him on and he'll be able to explain from his point of view a little bit. But yeah, there's definitely something that I've noticed, especially on in terms of social media, because that's where we get most of our news nowadays is social media,
Right.
and people are showing pictures and you know uh, of people being assaulted or getting stitches or whatever the case may be, um, and it's sad. It's like extremely sad, and that's another reason why. Because we know with black people we have that whole like what are they called, like with the white people would call because we're doing something, and petty or innocuous or whatever. Like we're not doing anything wrong, but they're like, I'm gonna call the cops on you because you're
Oh,
here.
like Backyard Becky.
Yeah, backyard
Right.
Becky. You know what I mean? So it seems like that, but it's in terms of the lockdown, where like seeing a bunch of or a few black people and calling the cops, but then
Yeah.
like, oh no, seeing some Asian people, and then actually attacking them, or
Right.
uh I remember one person was saying that someone in the grocery store had came up to them and like literally like pulled off their mask and coughed in their face and then walked away because they're angry. And it's
No,
like, really?
this is
Like
insanity.
crazy. Um,
Um,
go ahead.
even I just wanted to add really quick, because I did want to bring in our other person to kind of like join in on the conversation and talk with you, especially like what you're seeing in New York. Um, our a friend of mine named Sharon, and she's going to come on and talk about like what her sister, who's an ER nurse, is actually seeing. And I wanted like the two of you guys even to be able to kind of like kind of just talk about that. So if you don't mind, I'm just going to invite her onto the call because she doesn't have that much time. And
Okay.
but yeah, continue.
Okay.
So yeah, I think but it is, excuse me, it is good to know that there is some, it's not all of New York. And it's not to say that I thought it was like rampant crazy people like losing their minds or anything, but when you hear about these stories, it's kind of like, dude, what's going on? You know what I mean? Um, so it is nice to hear that people are coming together. Our caller that was before you, Jonas, he actually started making hand sanitizer and passing them out to people for free. Um,
Yeah,
uh,
that's something else. Like um, so when everybody was still going to work, like I said, I work in New York City. Um, there's a lot of people like walking into all the pharmacy. There was a lot of people walking into all the pharmacies and just buying all the sanitary products and just setting up a table outside and just selling it on the street, but for like absurd prices. So they were selling it out and then setting up the table and then selling it there. So it was
that's crazy.
pretty messed up. But like they'll grab a bottle of hand sanitizer, and there was even some stores, some of those like these local mom and pop pharmacies that were selling travel size hand sanitizers for like $30.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah, that was when I was a little like I kind of really felt bad about that. Like all I could say is like you're just a dickhead, and I just that's all I could say.
Um, Sharon, are you here?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, hi, how are you?
Great. How's it going?
I'm good. Can you just briefly introduce yourself?
Sure. My name is Sharon. I live in DC, Anything else?
And what do you do?
Oh, right. I should probably say that part. I live in DC. I'm an entrepreneur. I advise small businesses and startups on how to build traction for their companies. So, yeah, that's what I do.
Nice to have you on board. We were just chatting with Jamie about what he's seen in New York and, the level of kindness, things that he's seen about New York, New Yorkers kind of like, being strong together and things like that. And I know you and I had spoken earlier a little bit about what you've heard about what's going on in hospitals and, having a family member that works on the front line. So I know that you don't have a lot of time but you definitely wanted to talk about that. So let me know about what you were speaking about earlier.
Yeah, sure. I think I didn't get a chance to listen in on what you were saying for New York, but my family member works in the Baltimore area, and so she's been able to see just a lot of young people that are coming in that are, don't have any underlying conditions that are having to be put on ventilators, and just I think when I was telling Teresa, is what's kind of concerning is that I'm seeing more and more people like this family member who are very nervous about being able to do this because obviously they know that it's their job to take care of people that are sick. But I think what's really disturbing is that they don't have the protective gear to be able to do their job. And I don't know if a lot of you have noticed, but if you look at China and Italy and the kind of equipment that they're given, it's nothing like what we're given. I think I was describing to my family member, I almost feel like you guys are wearing trash bags. And then, the people in China and Italy are dressed up like they're about to go to the moon or something. And we don't have any of that in the US. And, even today, they're telling the public to start wearing masks. And this family member literally wore an N95, like they just wear it all day long in a 12-hour shift. And I don't know if any of you guys ever worn an N95, but it's pretty heavy. And if you know how to put it on correctly, you put it on tight, you can have a huge headache. So it's just nerve-wracking that our healthcare workers, while you are flattening the curve by staying home, what's really troubling is that even with them not having everybody coming in the hospital at once, they themselves are not protected. And it doesn't do the country any good if the people who are supposed to take care of us are not being given the right equipment to be able to protect themselves from this illness. So,
correct.
And
Definitely.
that's rough because when you think about it, it's uh they have to come home and after their shift is over or whatever the case may be, and it's like, do they want to be around their family members now? Like, if they did get something, they're not going to know right away. You know what I mean? And so like, it's if they're not protected, you're potentially spreading to their family members who could then spread it to other people, and then we kind of have the same type of thing that we're trying to avoid by having people stay at home. Uh, and that's rough. Which is why it's like frustrating to hear like when Trump is like, they don't need that many ventilators, blah blah blah, and everyone else is like, no, we actually need them. Like we don't have space for the people in the hospitals right now. Uh,
right.
it's spreading all over the place, and so we want to be protected. There are people that I believe I want to say in New York that are sharing ventilators or something to that effect.
They're sharing
And
masks. They're like, he's like telling them, well, I don't know if they're sharing masks, but well, some of them have had to share masks, and some people have worn the same mask for days on end, like they haven't changed their mask. Um, but I don't know. Where did you hear about the ventilator one? I haven't heard that one before. Because usually when they put you in a ventilator, that's kind of the only way that at that point, you can't breathe on your own.
there was a report, and I would have to go find it, but there was a report where the I want to say the mayor or governor or whatever, they were asking for more.
Oh yeah.
And
Hmm.
Trump was like, we're going to give this amount. And he's like, well, that's cool, but it's not enough. I need 30,000 or whatever the number was. And he was saying, because we don't have enough, these are the things that we were kind of forced to do. And one of them, I remember reading, was sharing a ventilator. or uh, a mask or this or that because they didn't have enough.
Yeah.
And it's not something that he was like, this is not something we normally do. We're still
Yeah.
trying to figure out the how we're even going to do this, but this is something we're looking into because we just don't have the means.
Right. Right. Yeah, no, it's just like a very unfortunate situation. I mean, I know for my family members, I have several family members that are in the medical field. What they have to do now, going back to your question, like what they do when they go home, is they don't interact with the family. Like they stay in one side of the house, and then everyone else just kind of avoids them. And even if they see their relative, like in the kitchen or whatever, they're always 6 feet away or more from them. So they don't interact with family. I mean, some people are more fortunate than others where, they kind of, they have children and they kind of are the breadwinner, but for the most part, like they have to not interact with their children. And some people are deciding to just stay in the hospital, like, for as long as they can because they don't want to infect their children. So it's an unfortunate thing. And I don't think the media, is really sharing the nitty gritty of what's going on. Like I read that New York wants people. They're asking for 1 million healthcare workers, and it's like to the point that a friend of mine who has another friend that studied medicine in Cuba and in Venezuela. As you know, like if you want to be a licensed doctor in the U.S., you need to go through the American like medical boards and pass that. And now they're asking even those people, you don't even have to take your American boards. Like if you were a doctor in another country and you passed the interview, they want you to come and help. And I mean, that's how bad it is. And I think that it's troubling that we are now at this point where it's just like anybody just come help us. I mean, the US is like begging everybody around the world to give us like hand sanitizers. Like the leader, like we're like supposed to be the leader of the free world, and we're asking for the most basic necessities. Um, and I was telling Teresa this, I think what people beyond just staying at home should really be thinking about is questioning why we're even here. And why are we here? Like we pay all these money in taxes that we don't even have enough masks, and now they're telling us to wear masks, and they're telling us to, improvise on making masks. Like, take a scarf and make a mask. Like, what the heck? Like that's ridiculous, right? Like, you guys should give us masks. And things just keep changing. And I think that there needs to be more of an uproar that we are even here, because it shouldn't have gotten here. And every time somebody dies, I think it should be a reminder, like this should never have gotten, like this many people should not be dying. I mean, hearing the relative tell me that a 24-year-old with no underlying diseases, nothing, came to the hospital, and the next day they're putting a ventilator. And by the way, when you're putting a ventilator, you're pretty much, it's 50-50, but it's pretty much a good chance that you're not going to make it. Like if they put you in a ventilator, like the odds of you making it has gone way down. So when he keeps asking for these ventilators, it's horrible to even put people on a ventilator. So it's just sad. I think it's a sad situation, and I think people need to question the situation more and not just sitting at home and catching up on Netflix and stuff like that. Like that's just what I think as I ponder, and I worry every day because these are my immediate family members, so it's not like a distant relative. So it's like a concern that they are just not given the equipment to protect themselves.
One of the things that I mentioned earlier when we spoke was you had mentioned how basically it's like the state of New York is asking for basically truckloads of medical professionals. And one of the things that I was a little bit concerned about, and of course I haven't done enough research and read enough and seen what the ask really is, but I was a little bit more concerned. It's one thing to be like, we need more medical professionals because there aren't enough to treat everyone. It's another thing to say we need more medical professionals because the ones that we have are falling. And I'm concerned that if we are not protecting the medical professionals that are out there right now, and the percentage of medical professionals who are falling ill to this disease continues to rise, then adding more medical professionals to help the people that are getting sick is just compounding the number. And so I would love to know what things, I mean, obviously it's not that you know the answer to this, but it's a general question, something else that, we at people who are maybe sitting at home can possibly think about is like our medical professionals, our frontline people that of course we're putting out memes and saying thank you, and people are doing things for them, like giving them their RVs or saying you can stay in this Airbnb so you don't go home and infect your children. There are nice things that people are doing for those frontline people. But it is very scary, just like you said, like your family members are saying, we do not have the supplies to keep ourselves safe. And they're being exposed to this disease from multiple ends, from multiple people, so that the virus is actually has been through so many people that there are different strains at this point. Right. And so you're ending up getting compounded, or you're being faced with this virus in a sense that it's passed through so many people that it's different. It's slightly different virus.
Right. No, it's true.
That's definitely a scary thought. And like I pray for your family.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. All right, everyone is. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say for Teresa, like to the thought of like the getting a different strain and maybe medical professionals getting it. I think to your point, like by the time, because the medical professions are interacting with so many different people that may potentially have it, it's true. Like I think they were saying that the reason why some young medical professionals fall or pass away because of the virus is because they're exposed so frequently, so their immune system does not have time to kill off like the one strain. Now they have to worry about another strain. So it's like it's just too much contact too frequently for their body to fight it all off. So I think it's definitely a good question. Like, are they asking for these many people because they can't handle it, or is it really just because people are falling ill? And there just hasn't really been enough. There's not any information out there to really tell us who is passing away. Is it, the hospitals? I mean, I've heard of some hospitals in New York where just says like a good majority of the people who are in the ER like caught the virus. But it's like, what do you do then? Like, I mean, you just ask for more people. So sorry.
It's rough. It's definitely rough. The good news in any case, is that there are things that are being put in place that are going to hopefully help. I mean, the New York Times were talking about how the restrictions that are being put in place are actually slowing the infections a bit. It's still the numbers are skewed because we couldn't test it for a long time. So there were people who might have had the COVID-19, had mild symptoms, didn't go to the hospital, and it passed for them, and they didn't get tested, so they're out of the number. And then the people who had it and then passed away, but passed away before we could test, so the numbers are definitely skewed. No one has accurate numbers. At the same time, the numbers that they do have, they are showing us that things are slowing down a little bit. That's not to say that we're going to be out of this before June or July, but it's saying that there is some bright spots out there. And I definitely agree with what you were saying about in terms of being at home. Now, one thing I will say, in addition, I totally understand needing to binge watch something on Netflix. The idea, as a person who stayed at home because I homeschool and I work from home, being at home isn't a big deal for me. At the same time, not being able to actually have the option of going out has affected me in a different way.
Yeah.
And because of that, having something to kind of balance this the gloom or whatever with something silly like the Tiger King actually it helps mentally, I will
Not
say.
silly, by the way,
Um,
not silly. Very serious cult.
it's they're bananas, okay? It's all over the place.
Yeah.
Um, but what I mean by that is like you should definitely in the midst of that, we should be definitely thinking about a lot of things. Like for one, there's the idea that we can't work from home. Like a lot of businesses say you can't work from home, and you actually can. And we're seeing that this is happening, that people can function and work from home and still do the jobs that they're supposed to do when they're there. We're also seeing how quickly things can be brought down by just a week of everyone being off, right? So you
Right.
have a multi-billion-dollar company that is telling its workers, hey, you can't take sick leave or you can't do this because
Yeah.
we'll lose X, Y, and Z. And it's like, but you just got a bonus of like however many millions. Like, how is it that you like if
Yeah.
you and not, I'm not saying like a CEO needs to take money out of his pocket, but what I'm saying is you could literally take money out of your pocket and feed all of your employees. But you're not doing that. Like I read about the Hobby Lobby guy talking about like he prayed and God told him that, all of you should go back to work. And if you can't go back to work, then you're basically fired. Like I'm not giving you sick leave. You're not taking time off. You need to go back to work. And I'm just like, you're extremely full of it. I do not believe you. You have the means of paying everyone. You have the means of keeping them afloat, and you aren't doing that. And which tells me two things. Either you want to stay stupid, stinking rich,
Right.
and those lives don't matter as long as you're stupid, stinking rich, or you're the money. Our system is so is built on like toothpicks. As soon as enough people take time off, it all falls down. Like,
Right.
how are we investing our money? How are we our infrastructures? The fact that we got hit so hard and we weren't prepared. We weren't. We were hearing about it might not have been Corona, but we were hearing about this in 2019. Like this
Yeah.
wasn't it got so bad, so it wasn't like it got really bad quickly. No, we had time. There was evidence of it in other
Yeah.
places. There was evidence like in the United States. There was a lot that we just didn't do,
Right.
and it makes us look bad. Like the U.S. is showing its ass right now. Like it's just look bad.
Yeah.
And so from that, because we can everybody can be like, well, it started in this country. We have more cases now than they
Yeah.
do.
We have more cases than China. It's ridiculous how quickly it happened. And the thing is, it's like China all over again. I mean, China being the epicenter, and then how quickly those cases rose so fast. And then the United States was like, oh, we only have it in Washington State. Oh, we only have it in Washington State and California. Oh, we only have it in Washington, California, and New York. Oh, we have it everywhere.
I think
And
once it hit the East Coast, and they were like, "Oh well," and I don't know. And actually, the numbers, even though we're at the epicenter, there's a article that came out, which I already suspected this, that China is actually downplaying their numbers, and I
yeah,
actually believe that more people were infected and I think have died from the virus in China. Like somebody was telling me that they heard like there were a lot of like phone like with like 2 million phone records, like phone numbers that just don't work anymore in China from like January to now. Like they just doesn't work anymore. So who knows? Like, I mean, I think they concealed it anyway, right? They downplayed it. They were reprianding people who were whistleblowers to this virus and in the late 2019. So my guess is that this virus, I think is probably worse than what they initially told us. And I also think maybe perhaps because it's been around so many people, like you stated, by the time it's come to the US, I think it's a completely different virus. I almost feel like whatever China has was a, if we are going to go by their numbers, it's almost like it was a milder version of what we have now. Because now, when China had it, they were all telling us, "Oh, it's an older people with underlying health issues are the ones mainly affected." And here we are, 25% of the people who are hospitalized are under the age of 44 years old. And so it's like a completely different thing. And so I don't know. It's I definitely think I think that if the US would have acted, they should have acted in January 21st when Washington State got the first case. Like, that's when they should have, done something. But I don't know why it was when it came to New York. I don't know if it's because it was no longer just on the West Coast. Now it's come on all the way to the East Coast. Now it's like, at that point, I just felt like it's too late. Like, this is 2 months too late.
Well, it's leadership. When it comes down to that, that's leadership. It's very upsetting, but it's not as though epidemics don't have certain controls. We have controls. This is not the first time. This is not the first epidemic that the world has faced. This is not new. We go through this every so often. So the point is that the controls, like you said earlier, Kenny, the infrastructure was demolished with intention. All of this stuff was demolished with intention. And then by the time cases showed up here, whether it was the first case or not, our leadership continued to downplay it. And that's factual. They continue to get on TV and say there's nothing to worry about. And unfortunately, this virus is not like the way that SARS is. SARS was very, very, very severe very early. And so you could see the symptoms. You could see it very quickly, very fast, and very traumatically. So it was like, oh my God, this is bad. Whereas this coronavirus was under the radar type. Oh, people are showing up with very pneumonia-like symptoms. Oh, they have this corona style virus, like the flu, like the common cold, like a SARS, just not as severe. But then it hits and it's SOL. And unfortunately, people are asymptomatic for a period of up to 14 days, and they're able to shed the virus in that time without being symptomatic. Whereas something like Ebola, you typically have to show symptoms before you start shedding the virus. And so when you have a virus that goes under the radar, it's very hard to track. And that's why this one hit us that way, because you didn't know anybody had it. People were spreading it without knowing they had it.
Yep.
And I'm gonna go out and say it right now. We have bad leadership, because if one country is saying already, yeah, we have a bunch of deaths or a bunch of illnesses from some strange virus, and then we're able to test for that virus at the end of January, everybody should have all the controls are supposed to come into play at that moment. And once that happens, and it's like, okay, start putting these things, this is what we have in place, start using it. But that stuff was already dismantled. And you had our leader go on TV and say, nothing to worry about, it's nothing, it'll go away. And people are out there doing their basic thing, not even knowing they're spreading it. That's why we have what we have right now. And it's irresponsible. And, now you have people, you have Fauci and you have the leader of the WHO and everything saying it's going to get worse. It's going to get way worse before it gets better. So, yeah.
But on a lighter note, there's a ton of stuff to watch on Netflix.
Sharon, I do know that you have to head out, but we loved having you. We loved hearing your side, and if any of your family members want to talk to us about what the medical community is seeing, let me know.
Okay.
To have them on. I do know that it is there are medical places right now that don't want their staff talking. Luckily, we don't show people's faces, but we know why there are medical places that don't want their staff talking. We know why that's the case, but at the same time, it's nice for us to be able to know what these people who are on the front lines are feeling and what they're experiencing. It not only invokes compassion in other people, but it just lets people understand the severity, because we're going to bring on my, niece in a few minutes and talk to her from, a 21-year-old's perspective. And I can let you guys know right now that some of these young kids they're not seeing this as very serious. They're seeing this as, oh, well, if I'm going to be on lockdown, I should go do it with my friends in a house somewhere. And so, anyway, but it was nice to have you on and to have that perspective, and you can come back anytime.
Oh, thank you. Thanks for having me on.
All right. We love having you. Have a great night. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
We have to market your buy.
Well, if we market my buy, then like Alaska from RuPaul's Drag Race is going to be like, that was mine.
We gotta switch it up somehow. We gotta
Right?
switch it up. So while you're getting her,
Mhm.
Jamie, what are some games you've been playing since you've been, in lockdown? I know you've been streaming some of them, like, the Resident Evil and whatnot, but what else have you been kind of playing?
Caught up on the new stuff on Call of Duty. There's a new map on there. Um, let's see. Did a lot of yeah, Resident Evil 2 to make room for Resident Evil 3, Animal Crossing, uh, Doom Eternal. Went through that whole. They actually 100%ed it.
Oh,
Have to
nice.
do a harder difficulty, but no.
I was about to be like, wait a minute.
That was hard enough. And yeah, none of the real stuff starts until Final Fantasy VII next week, and then I disappear for a while.
That's what's up. And so that I'm definitely gonna be stopping in for that stream. Aside from Final Fantasy though, Animal Crossing, that has been extremely addictive for me in the sense that it's weird. I can do mundane things that I could typically do here, but the fact that it's okay for me to do them and go outside in that game and stuff like that, it's kind of like reassuring in a way. Has that been the case with you, or has it been just about kind of grinding through the levels or whatever?
Since I've been playing so many other things, I haven't been putting too much time, probably about like an hour a day of just whereas it's been almost like a mini job. Just put in, okay, it's 10 a.m. I'm gonna log in, do some stuff. Okay, I'm done.
Okay. Yeah, because I know like you guys will ask about like the turnip prices and stuff like that, which I have
Yeah.
yet to see the turnip lady. Granted, I didn't know she came on Sundays, um, so I was always missing them. But yeah, in the Discord, it'll be like, what are your turnip prices? What is your item of the day? And I'm like, what is all this? Like, wait a minute. Uh, that said, though, the thread, I forgot the sisters' names, but the you can get the store that has the where you can share like your custom designs and stuff like that and buy clothing and stuff like that went up uh on my island. And for those
Oh,
that don't know, my island is called Kokomo. Come on down, take it slow. Anyways,
wow.
yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, yeah, so it's been fun.
Oh,
Oh, hey.
Oh,
hello.
hello. That was quick.
It's working.
Sorry about that. It wasn't working. I did not mean to interrupt, but
No, you're
uh,
good.
this so anyway, hi. This is Ayanna. This is our last caller for the day.
Yay.
Hello.
Hello, how are you guys doing?
Fine, thank
Doing
you.
all right.
Kenny, I'm sorry because I didn't mean to cut you off. Continue with what you were saying.
Oh, I was just saying how my island is the bomb, Animal Crossing, and we have all the fruits that you could ever want. And a new shop went up where you can buy clothing and you can get our unique threads I designed myself, UFG and whatnot. Awesome. Definitely check it out. I have a hoodie on there, a cap, and a couple other things, and a what do you call it? Muscle. So definitely check that out. I will be. I'll probably give my ID at the bottom so you can wear unique UFG threads in your Animal Crossing. Uh, Basically, I was just saying how being able to kind of do mundane things without worrying about like coronavirus or anything like that in a video game was actually. It's a very relaxing game, and it actually goes. Time passes by in real time, just like in life. So like if something needs to, like for instance, if you plant a tree, it'll take like a few days for it to grow. That's faster than real life, obviously, but it'll actually take real 24-hour, 48 hours, however, to sprout and whatnot. So it's interesting just doing those mundane things, um, and having a lot of fun. Like fishing, like virtual fishing has been comforting, if you
Yeah.
will, being stuck at home. So just wanted to share that.
I want to try virtual fishing. It reminds me of like, being a little kid. You remember those little the fishing rod game with the little fishing rod that you had, and the fish would like open their mouth, and it was like a little turntable thing.
Yes, yes.
I loved that.
It was fun.
Nostalgia. Anyway, so I'm going to introduce Ayanna. Ayanna is my niece. And Ayanna, just introduce yourself and what do you do? What's your life like? Who are you and what do you do?
My name's Ayanna. I'm 21 years old. I turned 22 in July, sadly during this virus. But yeah, I'm a college student that's like on hold right now. So
Well, yes, college is on hold in general, and most kids got sent home during this virus.
a lot of people got sent home. I know at my school they had to make people like move out of their dorms, and like if you couldn't move out, I think you have to like get like a waiver or something like that to like prove that you couldn't go home, which is just really crazy to me.
Yeah. Yeah.
So with that being I guess right now part-time college student, uh how are things for you? Like in terms of just I guess dealing with Corona, like how's your life been?
The days are like blending together now. So I don't it's
We said
like
that earlier.
all I know is that like the sun comes up and then it goes down and I'm like, oh, another day. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I've been trying to do things that like keep me occupied. Like literally as we speak right now, I'm sketching actually. So I've been sketching in like my sketchbooks. I don't know. I kind of just try to tap into things that like I do like to do on the normal basis, but like just trying to do it more to make me feel like I'm doing something or feel normal. I tried going outside. It's like it's so weird going outside. Like I feel like I can't breathe or something. Like when I go outside. It's so weird.
All right, so we're gonna give you our little rapid fire question
Okay.
right now. So you ready? Rapid
Mm-hmm.
fire? All
Yep.
right. Top 5 people to be your Corona Bay.
Corona Bay. Okay. Well, number one would have to be my boyfriend, Tavon. Or should I not say his name? Okay, I don't know. Anyways, wait, I didn't say his last name, so okay. Okay,
Whatever.
that's number one. Okay, second would have to be, Michael B. Jordan.
Hmm.
Third would have to be who would be third? Who would be third? Now I'm like drawing a blank. What's his name? The dude from Get Out. Lakeith Stan? How do you say his last
Oh,
name?
Seinfeld, Lakeith Sim.
Yeah,
Yeah, Lakeith Sim.
Lakeith. Yes, definitely
Mhm.
Lakeith.
Yeah.
Who else? Lance Gross. What am I on? Number 5 now? Or
Yeah.
Yeah.
on 5? Okay, 5 would have to be. Who would 5 be? Who would 5 be? I'm trying to think of my peoples. I'm like not thinking of any of my bays right now. I don't know. Um, let's see. Last one would have to be Miguel, the singer.
See, I
Okay.
think she's the only one that did it right. Everyone else was
Yeah.
like just people they chill with. That's why I was trying to like. Apparently Jamie didn't know we said Bay, and that's
Right.
why I was trying to get his homegirl from Spider-Man
Yeah.
Homecoming. Cause
Zendaya.
yeah, there you
Yeah.
go, there
Mm-hmm.
you go. I know he's a big fan. He's a big fan.
He's a
Uh,
hot mess right now.
yeah, he's like I didn't know. That's not. Wait a minute. I want to retract my my answer.
My statement.
Um. So then, when was well? I'll let Teresa ask the next question. Actually,
So when's the last time you showered?
The last time I showered was actually today, so you
So
guys have
proud.
to forgive me.
I'm proud
But
of you.
before
Like,
that, it was like 2 days ago, so I'm not even gonna lie. Like
look,
before
I was
that,
just happy that I showered twice in a row this week. That was an accomplishment.
that's pretty good. That's
yes,
pretty
yes.
good. I mean, if you're not going anywhere, I feel like it's okay. As long as you're not like smelling really, really bad.
Right. Yeah, and it's better for your skin.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Yes.
last thing you did outside.
Last thing I did outside was we went to Walmart actually to get like random stuff, and some dude tried to steal a TV while we were there. Like he's tried to steal a big, huge TV. He didn't have a shopping cart or anything. And they were just like, sir, put it down, put it down. And he like just continued to try to go outside, and like they got the TV and they're like, you need to leave the store, sir. And he's just like, he turns around and starts walking in the store again. So the police had to get him. I'm just like, who wasn't gonna see you with a big TV? Like, I'm confused.
Oh, Jesus.
Wow, that's
Yeah, that was the highlight of my week.
see,
Oh,
Walmart is can be dangerous even before Corona. So that's y'all are
yeah.
brave.
Yeah, Walmart is already just a struggle to go to on the regular.
Right.
So right now it's just even worse.
Well, next week I'll have my friend who works at Walmart tell us everything. That I mean, she'll tell you. She's like, they had to lock things up.
Oh,
They've moved like all toilet paper and things to lockers to a locked area because people are crazy.
oh
Anyway,
my god.
last five things you streamed on like Hulu or Netflix.
Oh, I've been slacking. But okay, the last things I would say is I actually watched The Secret on Netflix, which is pretty old, but I watched
Wow.
yeah.
So what
Hulu.
did you visualize? Like what
I
what
was
are
just like I'm already into like that stuff, manifestation and stuff like that. But I just wanted to see what that documentary was like going to tell me that I didn't know. Because I
mm,
don't, because people were telling me to watch it since I never seen it. So that was the last thing I watched on Netflix recently. Um,
mm-hmm.
Jasmine made me watch the Dolls movie, Ugly Dolls, which was really a childish movie. Like I'm mad at it. They tried to be trolls. They could never be trolls. Trolls is like superior in all of the like child movies. Like I love Trolls. Um, I watched Snowfall on Hulu.
Okay.
Great show. I need two more. What else? I really have been slacking on my Netflix and Hulu, but the two shows I do know I do want to start on Netflix this week is Sex Ed, and then the other show On My Block season 3.
Okay.
So those are like my main shows I'm like watching right now.
Okay.
I need to watch. I need to finish season 2 of On My Block. Darn it.
It's really good. I know the first season it took me like to like the fourth like it took me like 3 tries to really get into it. Like it wasn't good until like the fourth or fifth episode for me. Like it was just so boring. I was like, this is a childish show. Like why am I watching it? And then all of a sudden the storyline just got really crazy and I was like, whoa, okay. This is
Yeah,
actually
I was hurt at the season at the end of the first season, how it ends, and then the beginning of the
yes.
season 2. That was real rough. That
I
was
was
rough for me.
shook. I was shook. I was like, oh my God. Like this show just got good out of nowhere. Like I wasn't ready at all.
Yeah, your aunt likes that one too. I haven't started watching On My Block yet, but I want to.
No, please do. Please do. The kid, the black kid, I think he's the one black kid. He's super funny. He's super, super funny.
All right, so what else? What else have you been feeling? I know we talked earlier today about how, if you had the chance, you might want to hunker down. Obviously, you mentioned your boo. But right, right before we got on, we were actually talking to someone whose immediate family members, like two or three of them, actually work in that they are on the front lines. They're healthcare workers, and one works in an ER. Actually, so she's dealing with she's dealing with death on a daily basis, but she is dealing with just the simple fact of separating families. Like if you have a family who brings somebody in who is, having trouble breathing and ends up testing positive for corona, like they're at the point where they're telling people you are not allowed to see this person anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like you have to go because you can't be in this hospital, you can't wait, and they're going to be admitted and you need to leave. And saying stuff like, especially for those who know that they've been notified that there's nothing that can be done for them. Like they're being given walkie-talkies and are walking their family that's in a different location that obviously within range, but being like, this is obviously the last time we're ever going to speak. You're going to hear my voice. Like it's that serious. So with that being said, how do you feel about being outside and kind of like trying to live a normal life when you also are hearing that on the flip side, this virus is extremely dangerous.
It's honestly like really, really like scary, but it's like in a weird way. I feel like I've been having like underlying anxiety from it too, because it's just like, yeah, I'm home safe and I'm trying to like be normal and everything. But it's like when you really think about it, like nothing is normal right now. It's like the whole world is on pause and it's just really crazy to think about. And then it's like so many people are like dying and not with their families. And it's just like, yo, like what? Like y'all are telling me to just chill at home and like just not do anything for like months. Like it's just really crazy to fathom. But at the same time, I'm very grateful that I get to be at home with my family. But it's really crazy. Like, and even the numbers that they're saying, like that they're predicting are supposed to die. Like we're not even close to the amount of people that are actually predicted to die. So it's just really, I don't know. It's just like you try not to think about it. And like I said, like I've been drawing and just doing normal stuff, but like it's really real out here. Like it's crazy. And I still like even like with jobs and stuff like that, my job like keeps pushing back the date to like reopen because I work at the mall, so the whole mall is closed. And
Right.
so mom was telling me about like, applying for unemployment. But it's like over like 6.6 million, I think, people have like applied for like unemployment right now. Like it's just
Yes.
really wild. It's really wild what's going on.
And you should apply too.
Yeah, I know. Yep, that's literally on my agenda.
Well, I mean, it's good to know that you are making the best of it and doing what you can and doing your part.
Hmm. Even though
That's
it's
awesome.
getting kind of annoying.
Well, you're stuck in a house with like 6 people, so
Yeah, it's really crazy. It's really crazy.
See, those are the real questions. Like, who would you kick out first? See, that's what we should be asking.
yeah,
Yeah, we know. We know.
that's you already know.
Yep.
She's like, for fear of repercussions, I will not let the public know how I actually feel. So what's gonna happen? So let's say dire situations, rationing food. Who gets what? Tons of
Honestly,
games out here.
I don't even know. Like lately, we've been just like we haven't been eating a lot, but like it's kind of like we've been making stuff, and it's kind of like one and done. Like we've been like we make it, and it's like not really too much leftovers. And sometimes it's kind of like everyone for themselves for dinner. So like I don't know. Like right now, it's kind of just like if you're hungry, you got to do what you got to do and just make what you want to eat. Like that's really it. And then if there's nothing left, then you got to be the one to go to the store. And I'm just like, dang, why do I got to be the one to go to the store?
What?
Both of these people?
Well, that's interesting because have you found that you started eating more now that you're home all the time? Because
Yes.
there's a meme that I saw, which I thought was mad accurate, where a guy's like pointing at himself in the mirror and he's like, "You're not hungry, you're just bored." Like,
Yep.
like telling himself that. Like, is that something that you guys have noticed?
Yes, I feel like I'm actually glad that for like the first time forever, we don't really have too many snacks in the house. And I saw somebody else, I don't know if it was a doctor, somebody tweeted saying like, try not to have snacks because like obviously if you have snacks, you're just gonna be snacking on that all the time. Like right now, we literally have stuff you have to make. So I feel like that's one of the real reasons we haven't been eating too much because everything we have right now is kind of like you're making a meal or you're actually like fixing a true dish. Like if we had snacks, oh my god, I would have been I would
Yeah.
have been snacking so much. But yeah, in general though, I do feel like I have been eating more because you just feel like, oh, what should I do? Oh, I should eat this cookie. And like, my sister's been baking. My sister's been baking so many things from scratch. So we've been eating like cupcakes. We made biscuits from scratch the other day. Like we made French toast from scratch the other day. Like we just been making random stuff that like we don't ever make this stuff, and we're eating it every day. Like it's a lot. We need to start doing inside workouts or something.
Yes. Do inside workouts. B, make videos of what she's cooking. C, start rationing. We don't know what's gonna happen.
Yeah, we really don't know.
Like,
We
how about this? Maybe you can make something like from scratch once a week, like on a Sunday, and then that way you'll know what day is Sunday.
That is very true. I'm gonna tell her that. I'm gonna tell
Yeah.
her that.
Just a thought. Just a thought.
'Cause it's too
Jamie,
many.
what about you?
It's funny that you brought that up about cooking my I live downstairs. My family is upstairs. It's a two-family house, so I got the bottom. It was 3 o'clock in the morning, and my sister called me because she baked banana bread.
Ooh.
And I was like, "You do realize it's 3 o'clock in the morning?" She said, "Yes, it's 3 o'clock." And she said, "Do you want some?" I said, "Yes, I'll be right up."
Okay.
I feel that. Like, who's turning down banana bread? What?
It was good too. It was it was right out the stove. It was still hot. I mean, it burned my hand a little bit, but it was good.
It was worth it.
You gotta let it cool, man.
No,
Yeah,
I
come
wouldn't
on. You don't want to go to the ER.
do.
Not where you want to be right now.
Have Have you noticed that you've been staying up later? That's something that I've noticed. I've been staying
That
up late.
has been bad because it
Yeah.
happens all the time. Like even if I have a day off more than one day, because the way my sleep schedule, I just don't sleep at a normal hour. Like it'd be like, oh, I'm working every day, so I go to sleep at 11 o'clock, 11 o'clock, 11 o'clock. Oh, I have a day off, 1:30. Oh, I have another day off, 4:30, and like it just jumps.
Right. Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, I've noticed that, and it was getting hard to stop the habit. Like it's easier to stay up like now,
Yeah.
which makes my day really rough because all the kids get up. Look, with having kids, this is the one thing I will say about everyone and hooking up over this time. Uh, yeah,
Mhm.
having kids, they wake up at the same time regardless of how you feel.
Yep.
So, just saying that when you're sick, when you're like tired, when you're whatever, they wake up at the same time. And so I would get up with the girls and Joseph and or my wife actually more so now because she's working from home. We get up with them and then it's like the rest of the day just bleeds in and it's like you're not prepared because you stayed up way too late. And
Yeah.
so it comes in waves in the sense like you have this stuff to do, you got to get this done, you got to get them over there and all this other stuff. And in doing that, by the time you get down to like this time, you're mad tired, like your body hurts. But then you end up staying up and watching Netflix or watching Disney Plus, and it's like I really should go to bed.
Right.
I feel like you remember that show Monk when he was messing with the I think it was like bombs or rockets or something because he has he has all sorts of disorders and so
Yeah.
he's like putting them in order and in row and whatever and he's touching them they could explode and he's like please help me. That's what I feel like. It's like I should not be up right now, but I am. Like yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And I've been noticing, I mean, I at least I try, but I know that if I'm not going to be moving around a lot, that I don't need food. So I've been kind of like that for the last couple of years, where I'm like, food is more of a necessity, but it is hard, especially because I'm in the house with Lillian, and so there is more food in general, and so I'm like, I'm used to walking into my kitchen, opening the fridge, and nothing being there, going to a cabinet, opening it, and nothing being there, closing it, going and drinking some water, and calling it a day. I could do that for months. Like I might only have a small amount of food in general because I'm not, burning that. I'm not utilizing that many calories. But now I go and I open the fridge and there's all kinds of stuff in there, stuff that I don't even eat, stuff that's bad for me, like cheese, and real bread, and ice cream. She buys ice cream. Like I don't eat ice cream. I eat sorbet because I'm lactose intolerant. My point is, it's there, it's available, and so yes, there's that level of boredom that comes, and you're like, oh, let me go and eat this, but also, what the heck am I saying? Nothing's changed for me. I've been at home for a year and a half. Like, what am I talking about? Yeah, don't worry about me. I'm the same. Um, so in all honesty, you guys, Jamie and Ayanna, is like great having you guys on, and I love hearing your opinions. Anything else you guys want to add about, Corona time and how you guys have been passing the time? What are you doing to, stay positive? What's your comic relief?
Twitter.
Black Twitter.
So, I got one thing to say, and it's something that actually made me miss my childhood a bit. Okay,
Mhm.
so in so I have two nephews and a niece that live here, so they all go to school. The schools in New York, you could pick up um your lunch every day. So my sister's been going every day and picking up the kids' lunch, bringing it home. But the kids aren't eating it because they're home, and now they're like, "I'm not in school. I'm not eating that." So I was like, I mean, if they're not gonna eat it, I am. And I was like, why does this peanut butter and jelly taste better than when I make it? What are they doing? Why is it so good?
Oh
I
my
had a school
gosh.
lunch. I actually had a school lunch today. I had peanut butter and jelly, graham crackers, and an actual carton of milk.
Oh, graham
Oh my
crackers.
god.
It was so good.
I miss
So
the carton,
so good.
even though I don't drink milk anymore, but the carton milk used to be like the best. I don't even know why. The chocolate milk was so good.
The chocolate milk.
Ugh, it was so good.
And I don't
Yeah.
eat milk, I'm lactose intolerant, but man, that chocolate milk, man,
It,
But
it's
sometimes you just
different.
gotta take the hit.
Uh,
it's
Oh
different.
man, you know what? When I did take the hit was when I would go to like Cookout or something and get like their milkshakes, because they have
Oh,
like
Boy.
amazing milkshakes. And it's like, you know what? I already know what I'm signing up for, so I'll make sure that the next day I have off. I'm not doing anything. It's
you
gonna
know
be a
what?
problem.
Wow.
So, but I'm like, once in a blue moon, definitely. But like I've been like so graham crackers, and we do like almond milk or whatever to
Yeah.
kind of like get over that hump. But yeah, like anything, it's difficult. Like my willpower for like snacks is gone. Um, because typically, so here's the thing: the way we've been managing, because we don't really buy like a lot of snack food and stuff like that, right? So the way we manage is just we just don't buy it. If we don't buy it, out of sight, out of mind, we don't think about it. So like
Yeah.
it'll be like I won't have like a cookie until the holidays. Like it'll be
Right.
that long. However, with being like in the state we're in, it's like you go to the grocery store, you're like, I just need to get the essentials, right? But then you're hungry, or at least you think you're hungry. So you're like, oh, those cookies look real good right there.
Yeah.
Maybe I could just get a few. And before you know it, you've gone through all of Little Debbie's whatever. You know what I mean? Like it's crazy. And
It's
so,
accurate. It's accurate. Lillian brought home zebra cakes the other day.
Oh
Zebra
my
oh,
cake.
god, zebra cakes.
Come
oh
on,
my
man.
gosh,
She was wrong for that. She was wrong for that.
She
she was
was.
she was real wrong for that.
She knew better. She knew.
She knew better.
Oh my gosh.
And then had the nerve to go buy Vienna fingers.
Oh my
Mm,
god.
See, I'm
yeah.
just giant roly poly.
Oh, we gotta work on this. We gotta call our swole bay, whoever that swole bay was, whether it's LeBron James or whoever, and be like, look, on a time, do you think that maybe you could, make an exception and come hang out with me?
It was crazy. Like it was, but because real quick, I was before this, we were looking into a nutritionist and getting getting on a diet that is set up for like your like so you would go to see a nutritionist and they would get your blood and all this other stuff and kind of give you something that you can adhere to for a certain amount of time. So
Yeah.
I was actually going to be going on like a liquid diet and working through that, but like with Corona being all crazy, it's like I can't go even see anyone for a long time. And so it's like it's gonna make my transition even harder because I'm gonna walk up in there with like pizza coming out of my pants and yoo-hoo in my back pocket and all this other stuff. And it's
Oh
like,
my God.
yo, you're such in a bad shape. And it's like, I wasn't like this before. I was okay.
Oh, can you imagine like the weight loss industry is going to be making like tons after this is over?
Oh
But
my
that's the
gosh.
optimist. That's the optimist actually in us because otherwise the other end is the zombie apocalypse. So one or
You
the
know,
other. It's going to be Walking Dead or Weight Watchers. One or the
I
other.
already told myself if that happens, it's kind of just over for me. So like, I can't
She gave
survive.
up.
I
You're
can't
going to be
survive
a
this.
voluntary exit from life.
Yeah, like
Voluntary.
you know, I'm just gonna be that designated black person to die first. Like I just
You're like, excuse me, we're in the horror movie, right? Okay, pick me, pick me, pick me. I'm black. I'm a black, and I'm a woman. So pick me.
Just like, just get it over with. Just get it over with.
because I can't. Like at this point, like what are we surviving for? What is this? No.
All
I
the zebra cakes are gone.
don't. But yeah, where are those things made?
Honestly, who knows? Like
They're
all of
bad
little
for you.
Debbie stuff.
Yeah,
Goodness.
yeah.
Well, anywho, um, it's been an awesome cast. We've talked about the corona up and down in terms of the things that we're doing to kind of cope, and we talked about some of the more serious aspects of the coronavirus, and just to kind of vent a little bit. In the sense that not everything is hopeless. However, we did want to show that there is a serious side and that you should take it seriously. I don't think there really is anyone else out there who's not taking it seriously. I mean, they canceled sports for crying out loud. Like,
Right.
I kind of think everyone is taking it seriously. But just in case you aren't, we wanted to, just put that out there.
Yeah.
But yeah, for the most part, we want to end on a positive note.
Yeah.
There's a ton of stuff you should watch on Netflix outside of thinking about, what you're going to do once you get out of quarantine, if you will. Um, a lot of games coming out, a lot of movies, anime, all that good stuff. There's stuff that was in the theater that's coming out. Where you can watch it via, like digital, so Vudu or Redbox digital or whatever the case may be. Chill. It's okay to relax. It's okay to let's, whatever. Get some sun. Definitely
Yeah.
get some sun. Vitamin D deficiency is a real thing. Definitely get some sun and take showers. You should do that. Um, you can you can follow me on Twitter at KennyUFG. You can follow Tess at actually. Oh, I want to also say you can also follow me on Instagram now. I'm probably I'm
Yay.
probably never
Yay.
I'm probably never gonna check it, but I honestly I got the Instagram
You'll
because
check
there
it.
was there was beat battles happening recently
Yes.
between like Timbaland and Swiss Beats,
Oh
and then
yeah.
Manny Fresh and Scott Storch, and so those were fire. So I was like, you know what, I'll make an account for that. So you can follow me. It's also Kenny UFG there. You can follow Tess at Messy Tessie underscore Bakes.
Yep.
You can follow Jamie at UFG Blaze on Twitter. Um, and that's the same on Instagram too, right, Jamie?
Uh, no, it's actually just my name.
Oh, well, there you go. Um, wait, is there anything special about it? Because there's got to be 1,000 Jamies, right?
Uh, oh my God, it's
He's like, I'm the
Jamie M1991. It is so basic.
There you go, basic Jamie.
That is
And you can also
The
follow the
Starbucks
site.
cup that too.
You can also follow the site on Twitter at u_f_g. Definitely check out our website, unitedforgaming.com. A bunch of reviews went up recently. Persona 5 Royal. If you like anime and you like RPGs, definitely check that game out. Got a great score. Um, what else? The Yakuza Remastered Collection. So that's Yakuza, let's see, 3, 4, and 5, I believe. They got remastered and is on PS4. We did a review for that as well, collectively. So definitely check that out. We reviewed all the Yakuza games. So if you're into Yakuza or would like to be into Yakuza or like anime or any of that, definitely check those out. If you like Korean drama, Yakuza is your best bet in terms of the gaming world. Because yeah, it's crazy in terms of melodrama. So definitely check that out. And oh, Ayanna, since you're with us, what are your socials?
You guys can follow me at naturally Yana, and that's pretty much it for like Twitter, Instagram. So it's NATURALLYY. So it's like double letters. So naturally Yana.
Dope. And I will be putting that in the description on this. Please subscribe to the YouTube channel.
Yep.
And hit that little notification bell so that you can be updated on all of our shows. We have streaming shows that happen every Saturday at 8 p.m. We have this show that goes up every Friday, and we have UFG Plays, which is sporadic. So you got to follow us to kind of know we do it whenever we feel like it. I'm definitely know that we're going to be doing it tomorrow because Resident Evil 3 comes out, which is today because you're listening to whatever. We're going to be playing Resident Evil. So definitely check that out. And other than that, I think we're good.
We're
Feel free to close us out, Tess.
I just last thing I want to say is a big thank you. If you are listening and you are part of the first response team, if you are part of the medical community, thank you. If you are essential personnel, and I don't just mean like, oh, you work for a tech company or a financial company and you're able to work from home. I'm talking about we are on lockdown and the only places we're supposed to go are to the doctor's office and maybe the bank and to the grocery store. The grocery store is what I'm talking about. The people who are sitting there working for, 8, 9, $10 an hour, checking out your groceries, stocking those shelves, making sure the milk stays cold, and putting all those fruits and vegetables out there and making sure that there is a little bit of normalcy to our lives. The grocery store, the one place you can still go and get what you need. Thank you to you. You guys are the true MVPs right now. And I want to say how important you are, how important your work is. I am an advocate for making the minimum wage $15 an hour or above, a livable wage, because here we are in a crisis and you guys got to go to work. We can't live without you guys. So thank
Facts.
you. And I will end on that. We loved having you. We love having everybody who comes and listens to us. Thank you for joining us. We hope we see you again next week. And as usual, bye bye.